Okay, when we last left off, we were at the point where we had needed to take the key bed out. On this particular model, the key bed is in a slot held in by the sides of the piano. So I can't take the key bed out until I get the sides off. There are some screws here that are screwed in from the underside of the key bed into the sides of the arm. So first I'm going to remove these before I attempt to knock off the arm blocks. Okay, so when this piano is made, the sides are glued on here to the back frame. So there's glue joint that runs the length of the piano, and the only way to remove this side is to break that glue joint. So I've got a sledgehammer here, which I'm going to use to try to break the glue joint and knock off this side here. Okay, that's one down, one to go. So again, I have a few screws I'm going to remove. With the sides of the piano removed, now we have the key bed, which can be taken out. Now what we're left with is called the strung back. This is what you'll see in a factory. You'll see stacks of these, or they'll be leaning up against, they'll be in a rack. And so the strung back consists of the back frame on top of which the soundboard is glued, and the bridges are glued to the soundboard, and then the plate is bolted down to the soundboard and back structure, and of course the pin blocks under here. And then the stringing is done when the piano is in this state. So the stringers will string the piano, and they'll have this, what's called a strung back, as it goes down to get everything that we've already taken off added onto it. But this is what this part will look like. The next step is going to be to remove all the strings, because that's what would have been put on next. What we want to do is we want to first detach the string from the tuning pin. So in order to do that, you have to turn out the tuning pin, maybe a full turn, or enough to loosen the coil. And then you need a small, I like this small screwdriver, something to pry off the string and pry the little end of the string called the becket, which is the end of the string which goes into the hole in the tuning pin. You pry that out. Once you pry that out, you can lift the string off the tuning pin. So about one turn is enough. So you can do these in bunches. It's a good idea when you're working with piano wire to wear goggles. I have glasses on, so I feel like that gives me some protection, but piano wire, it can really it can stick you, it can scratch you, and you don't want it to stick your eye. So once the strings are taken off, now it's a matter of unwinding the tuning pins. Now, the tuning pins are threaded. A lot of people ask if there's threads on these tuning pins, and there are, but they're very fine threads. So you really have to go quite a few turns to get them out. Now, this can be very time consuming. We do sell a drill bit that the tuning pin fits in that you can put in a electric drill, and then you can use the drill to turn these out much quicker. If you're going to be taking apart more than one piano, you might consider getting that bit, but the alternative is to just turn these out each one by hand. Given there's about 230 tuning pins on average for a typical piano, this is going to be some work. One thing that might aid you in removing all the strings is removing this rod. It's called a pressure bar, and it's pushing all the strings down, putting them under pressure. And so removing this piece will allow you to take the string off without having to weave it under the pressure bar. This may speed things up a bit. It's just held down by these 15 or 20 screws. Now that the pressure bar is removed, you can have better access to the strings. Okay, now we have all the strings removed, and we still need to remove the tuning pins. I'm going to show you how I do this with a special attachment for your drill that we sell. This is an attachment that will fit into your hand drill or electric drill, or battery-powered drill in this case. It has a tip which has a star tip, just like the tuning hammer, which fits over the pin. So you can put your drill in reverse and use this bit to take out the threaded tuning pins. This is really going to speed up the job. The more powerful hand drill you have, the better, because these pins can be quite tight, and it's going to take a lot of torque to get them out. I've got this set on the maximum torque setting, and it's doing all right, but if the pins were tighter, it might be necessary for me to turn them out by hand partially before the drill will be effective. Okay, now that we have all the tuning pins removed, we could start working on taking off the cast iron plate. So it was necessary to remove all these tuning pins because the tuning pins go through the plate, and it's not possible to lift the plate up over all those tuning pins. So now that the pins are off, what we need to do is remove all these large wood screws that hold the plate down, and they go along the perimeter of the plate, and also they're located under the tuning pins. There's quite a few screws here. You can see they're on the bottom of the plate. Also, there's going to be a few nose bolts. There's a bolt that the plate goes over, take that nut off, and there's some screws also in the middle that you don't want to forget. So sometimes the screws are hidden under felt. There might be, particularly up here, sometimes there's a piece of felt that you might need to remove to expose the heads of the wood screws. These are the action bolts, and these, you can take these out, just unscrew them with a pair of vice grips, or you can just leave them in and lift the plate up over those.